Y'all mind if a white boy starts a holy war? Hi. Carrie, I, and the gang watched Dune last night. I hadn't seen Dune until last night. Good movies. Dude, his mom was slinging that fucking voice around in movie 2. Movie 1, I kind of got the idea. She was like, this is a great power. We must not use it. But my movie 2, she's doing some shit like, get me a coffee. Like that. She is fucking swinging it around. Holy. Get up, sit down, walk sideways. Sit down and shut up, and sit down and stand up and sit down. You watch Dune, you watch Toon, and now soon Thrune. Dude, I'm kind of excited for Thrune. I gotta tell you. We watched the trailer and everything. I saw Robert Pattinson. I screamed. I screamed because... Dude, what is it with Dune and, like, people not having eyebrows? It's crazy. Nobody has fucking eyebrows in these movies. It's crazy. Yeah, we watched Dune too. Good movie. I recommend them. I recommend them greatly. We talked a bit about the differences of the book. I haven't read the book, but my friends have. We talked about some things that aren't really touched upon very much in the movies, that are touched upon in the books or the supplemental material. Excuse me, my alarm is going off. Jesus Christ. Yeah, good movies. Good movies. Very cool. In space, they have the best barbers. I don't know if best is what we got to be talking about when we see the Harkonnens and they got, like, no fucking hair going on. I will say, I think my favorite thing about Dune 2 is when we go to the Harkonnen. I don't know if it was... Well, it's like one of their planets or whatever. It's the one with the black sun. I thought the lighting change from it, like, everything has color when they're inside and it's dark, but then when they're outside and they're supposed to be light, it's all black and white because the sun is black. That's really cool. That was really, really cool. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. If you get the Audible version, don't get the one with the movie poster. Explain why. Getty Prime, thank you. That was the planet name. I kind of wished one thing, because I kept asking, like, how long... Like, obviously some time has passed in between certain events in the movie. I was kind of curious how long exactly. You know? Like, I was wondering... I think it was we were rewatching the first one. We watched 1 and 2 in a row. And I was wondering, like, I wonder how long space travel takes in this world. Because... I don't know. It's just one of those curious things. Have you seen the trailers for the Dune game? I gotta tell you, I like the movies. I don't think I have any interest in the games. Nothing against the games or the developers or anything, but just it's one of those things where it's like, I think the movies and maybe book I could, like, peruse and enjoy as a story, but as, like, a setting I want to walk around in, I'm good. I'm alright. I don't keep up with who's talking with the voice changes and how many VAs there were. Ah, it's one of those audiobooks. I see. It's about 2 years. Okay, I see. That feels appropriate. Yeah, 2 years feels right. Dude, that baby was Grima worm-tonguing her mom. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy to have a fetus going like, yes, my lord, yes, use the voice on them. We must make your son into a god. My brother will ascend and become the Muad'Dib. That's fucking crazy. That doesn't make sense considering the baby. John, we gotta all acknowledge that is not a normal fucking baby. That is not a normal baby. That's crazy. The narrator constantly changes, and at one point the voice of the Baron changed to someone else. I was already 2/3 in the book. That's crazy. Should ask Drew. Yeah, Drew's actually read it. Carrie's also read it, but, you know, there's been some time between. Like, Drew has read it the most recently out of our friend group. Get me a coffee. Sit down and shut up and stand up and sit down and shut up and speak and shut up and go down and then. She was just fucking saying shit. It's crazy. Should I change my channel name from Grim Dice to Go Boom? No. You're assuming they're baseline human? Yeah, this is my thought. Listen, if we had to equate the Bene Gesserit to something to Warhammer 40k, it's like a Psyker or like a Navigator or something. Like, they're fucking weird. Even though Dune does have Navigators. Like, we saw them. Use the voice. Busted down sexual style. I saw a great question earlier in the chat while I was setting up things and getting my coffee and stuff. I've got my coffee, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's Monday. It's Monday. We have some Warhammer news. We got some stories that we're going to cover today. But we also have some Chaos Trim. And that's going to be a hell of a journey. But as we get going this morning, we're gonna have a fun time, relax, chill out. YouTube sent me an not an email, but like a notification on the studio app today that was like, hey, listen, you lost a couple subscribers since your last upload. And the last upload was me making the last stream of this public. And I was like, yeah, probably. It's just funny that YouTube is like texting me going like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. Whatever you're doing right now, stop that. Nobody actually knows what the Navigators look like. The movies take liberties. Ah. Paul, you need to punch your sister. That would solve a lot of problems, methinks. Have you seen David Lynch, dude? No. But there was a question earlier in chat while I was getting set up from Ice Hawk that says, how do I not procrastinate on painting? I know I want to, but forget because I always slip my mind. Painting does not have to be a whole thing. So like yesterday, I ended the stream, excuse me, and I saw that we had gone 7 hours, and I thought to myself, like, oh my god, that much time passed? I don't want to do another 7 hours of painting. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, you know, I'm going to try to be more mindful of my time. But to go back to what I was saying, painting doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could be an hour every night. And you don't have to make a ton of progress either. Just making any progress is like leaps ahead of like a large portion of people in this hobby. You want to paint. That's a good step. A good step is you want to paint. And depending on your schedule and the things going on in your life, it might have to be, you know, I only have time. Like, Gary and I may have kids one day, right? So the amount of like streaming and painting videos and stuff might fluctuate depending on like what's going on. So I've often thought about like if I had responsibilities that required my attention, I would probably just try to dedicate 1 hour every night to painting. Try to see it as like a meditative decompress throughout the day. So you're like, you've gone through your day, you did your 9 to 5, you come home, you have your dinner, you get whatever you need to get done at home done. And then when you're starting to wind down for the night, you go, you do like an hour of painting, you put on a book, maybe some music, a podcast you like, and you do your painting. And if you have a day off tomorrow, maybe you do a little more painting. But don't push yourself. Just trying to like don't make it another job. That's a big thing as well. Don't make it into a chore you have to do. The moment you start to go, but I have to paint. No. That's the wrong emotion. The moment this hobby stops being like, oh boy, I get to paint. Oh boy, I get to play. Oh boy, like the moment that excitement is gone and is replaced with, ugh, I don't want to do this, stop. Take a break. Maybe don't paint for a week or something, you know? You gotta not make a hobby into a job. Which is ironic considering you're listening to me making my hobby into a job, which is what I've done. But you know what I mean? It's like when I say a job in a negative sense, it's exactly what I was talking about. Just the moment you go, I don't want to do this, or I have to do this, stop. Stop. But yeah, to sum up all the points, even if it's just an hour every night and you want to do painting, try to dedicate an hour every night. And if you miss a day, no problem. It's a hobby. Try to prioritize seeing and using the hobby as a relaxation tool and not as a chore or another task that you feel you need to get done. I've talked about this before. If you get to a point where you are avoiding painting because you don't like the project that you're working on. Like, let's say you're doing what I'm doing today. You're doing Chaos Space Marine trim. And boy howdy, you might get to you might paint 3 or 4 Chaos Marines and go, "Oh my god. Oh my god, I don't want to paint. I don't want to do Chaos trim anymore." I talk a lot about having 2 projects. Always try to have 2 projects. It doesn't mean 2 armies. That doesn't mean go out and pay hundreds of dollars to get another GW thing. No. Look at like some miniatures from other retailers, cheaper miniatures. If you went to a hobby store, most likely they have like these cheap D&D miniatures that are like $5. Not even, but like they're cheap. They're hella cheap. See one you like, grab it. There's your second project. Wallowing in trim hell, eh? Not yet, but yep, that's today. We have some breaking news to go into. We have some Warhammer 40k news, but I'm excited for the AOS news because, chat, we finally have details on the cog fort. We'll get into that in just a minute, but we're just chilling right now. I've got my coffee. I'm enjoying the morning. We're chatting. We're relaxing. YouTube is still screaming at me that I am losing subscriber. I have posted cringe. Painting some Rainbow Warriors? Based. Love Rainbow Warriors. Ava, I blame you for my new obsession with the Starborn Seraphon. JK, they look so cool. I'm researching a new army list for AOS. Yeah, Starborn Seraphon are really cool. Did you like when I freaked out? I'm assuming you got this way because I freaked out talking about how, like, they are lizard people who are, like, essentially demons. They behave like demons and they are made of stars. Isn't that fucking sick? Shoot me a message if there's a Cogfort novel. What do you mean by that? Because we're essentially talking about a tank. It's a walking fortress. So do you want, like, the whole book? This is good news. I don't think I have that good painting skills, but I play orcs, so it works. Well, even so, you might get to a point where you've painted 20 orcs, and you go, I'm kind of tired of orcs. I kind of want to paint something else. You need a palette cleanser. How are you going to get that palette cleanser? You're going to go and buy some cheap mini. Or maybe you do have the budget to get like another combat patrol or something of an army that you are really, 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 really interested in. Make sure you have the budget for it. Obviously, shit's expensive, y'all. But, you know, having a second project is great. I recommend it. I have like 5. So whenever I'm like, I don't want to paint chaos right now, I just spin the fucking roulette wheel and just go, ooh, goblins. Ooh. Ooh, Death Guard. Ooh, Space Marines. As an orc painter, I do get angry at how grimy my orcs look, and it makes me want to paint something clean to see if I have improved. Gappy, if you have a Warhammer store nearby you, and you go in and ask for a mini of the month, they'll give it to you. I think the one right now is a ghoul. I'm not actually sure. What is the mini of the month? Do we know, chat? I do not have one nearby. Okay. Alternatively, get like a 3D model from like a retailer, just anything. Get like a knight or like a wizard or something, and just paint it, and just see, you know, because it sounds to me like you want to improve is what you want. No, I want to be good first. This is a normal feeling. But you do need to practice. Practice makes progress. It does not make perfect. Practice will make progress. I have jumped astronomically in my painting. I've noticed my brushes, my brush skills are better. My color choices are, like, I understand the paints that I'm working with a lot more. And a big, like, how did you improve, Ava? It was because I just started painting more. That's it. But there's some stuff that I'm not good at. There's some stuff with painting that I'm ass at. There's some stuff I don't even want to do. Yeah, you gotta do the work. You gotta do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not gonna improve. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Use the voice. Watching painting instruction videos will help a lot in understanding different techniques, but you should also go and try those techniques. I remember watching how to paint like corn demons, and I was like, wow, this looks so easy. I could do it. I could blend the horns with the skin, no problem. And I tried to do it, and it was like one of the first models I ever painted, and I went, what is this bullshit? What the fuck? Cut to now a couple years later, and I'm like, I kind of don't like contrast paints for general painting. I like them for very specific things, but I wouldn't know that unless I had gone and painted a bunch of minis and eventually come to that conclusion myself. There are people who use contrast paints exclusively, and they make some crazy looking shit. There are some people who have never touched a contrast paint in their life. Experimenting is an incredibly important step. The concept of a test mini is one that I'm a big fan of. You go and you say, hey, I'm going to paint a ultramarine. I'm going to paint ultramarines. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this mini. I'm going to do this technique. And then you're going to... I find it helpful to write down what I've done and also to write notes. Where can I improve? Where can I improve? What have I noticed can be avoided? What are some things I should spend more time on? Yada, yada, yada. I tried Ava's way of doing Ultramarines on my Dark Angels and edited it to make it look how I want, and I think I've really improved. Yep. You stole my technique? That's crazy. That technique that I stole from someone else? That's crazy. No, this is what art is. Art is a community and a... It's a place to go, hey, can I borrow this technique? Yeah. There's no such thing as trademarking a technique. That's ridiculous. I've seen some people in the art community every so often, you might see somebody going like, this exact way of doing this thing is mine. And if you do it, you're plagiarizing me. And it's like, no, no, no. This is our technique, comrade. Yes. If you paint like this, pay me. Da Vinci rising from the grave. I'm sorry, you used oil in your painting. $12,000 for me, please. This is Dobby's technique. I don't think Buff Dobby can paint models. I don't think he can make that. I don't think he can move his arms that close to his head. Caveman, you used pigments. Give me money. Damn, that's fucked up. Grug is coming to me. He's gonna steal my models. But Buff Dobby can punch a statue to Harry Potter's divine visage. That is true. Is there going to be a Spearhead game tomorrow? Lou? Lou, I know some things have changed on your end. Lou, question mark? Yeah, I can swing. Evidently, there's going to be a Spearhead game in the Discord tomorrow. If you want to be part of the Discord, the cheapest way to do so is becoming a Patreon for $2 over on patreon.com/numbskulls. If you want to be part of a great community where we hang out and do... We try to do more things with each other, and we got just a great community of people. Lovely people over there. Another way of getting over there is to become a YouTube member or a Twitch sub. And it's great and greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much, because we wouldn't be able to make shows or do live streams like this without viewers like you. Thank you very much. Spearhead swingers rise up. I don't want to. I don't really want to do that. Appreciating your fans is mega gay. Damn. Putting on lipstick. Damn it. Damn it. You dare question Dobby's painting skills? Buff Dobby will kill you. Chat, you excited for Infinity Nikki tonight? It's going to be fun. I think there's more story now. I'd have to ask Carrie when she wakes up. What, I'm probably going to play the Old Corn Spearhead tomorrow, Lou. What do you want to play? For those who want to be in the Discord, tomorrow we're going to be doing a Spearhead game where we're just going to be playing the game, showing people how to play. We're going to have people in the call putting questions in chat, asking things like, hey, how exactly does run work? How exactly does this work? You know, so... Last game we did, it went on for quite a bit because it was a lot of just like, I am doing this move because this is how this works. And then we go from there, right? This one will be a little more streamlined. If you miss it, don't worry. I record it and then I put it up on Patreon for free. Not for like, oh, you're part of the Patreon, so you're giving me $2. So no, it's for free. I just have it unlisted on the YouTube page. It's going to be one of the Luminous Spearheads. Yeah, but which one? What point are you guys at? And Nikki, I can answer that. We finished the story, I'm pretty sure. You've also reminded me, I think I need to upload that VOD. I think I uploaded it. I'm 90% sure it got uploaded. Also, YouTube is finally on to me. Your premium access will be paused on May 24th. Family plans require the member to reside in the same household as the family manager. Email for options. Fuck. They're on to me. They know. Ad block on. You're doing the Hurricane one? The new one? It's time. Did you do the last Medale encounter? Yes. Dobby must collect the skulls. It's fucked up, Dobby. When was this uploaded? Let me skim through this VOD really quick. Don't play audio. I can't stand hearing myself, y'all. Yeah, we did the last encounter. Dude, you ever getting back to Witch Hat? I'm going to put that responsibility on you to put that in the group chat so that we can get something going. Because we're currently doing this daisy chain of, hey, Ava, do you want to watch Witch Hat? And I go, yeah, I'll ask Carrie. And then I go ask Carrie, and I go, do you want to watch Witch Hat? And she goes, yeah. And then it ends there. You gotta put it in the group chat. Our brains, we can't work with this, like... and someone goes into hell for 40 raids, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I need fashion. Inventory on ad block. I never wanted this. I never wanted to unleash my ad blocker. You're deflecting? Yeah, and it worked. No, but seriously, like, it would be much easier to just, like, put the poke in the group chat. There's side quest stuff then? Okay. I mean, side quest stuff is fine and good. I need to touch up with the editor today and see how we're looking, because I would like the video to release this week, which means that these painting streams are probably going to become a lot more sparse as the week goes on. I also need to film a sponsor segment, which I will do today. I shaved last night. I don't look like shit. I'll just do my hair. It's one of those sponsors where they're like, please film yourself. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's one of them. Dobby said that Ava is ignoring Dobby. No, chat. We can't run the bit into the ground. It's only been like 3 streams. You gotta. We've had our. It's had its time in the sun. Now we can put it down, but not like put it away. We'll come back to it when it comes up naturally. It'll be funnier, but if we keep pushing it, it's gonna not be funny anymore. And then nobody will like it. It'll just be one of those like, oh my god, it's fucking Dobby again. I watched a channel like a week ago from the Explain Warhammer, and they've been great to listen to while working. Thanks. Thank you for listening. Share with your friends and stuff. Apologies for the lack of consistency, but we're trying to get that fixed. It's like the seal pick stuff. It got buried really fast due to overuse. Yeah, and I mean, that's also just the nature with a lot of memes and stuff in online in general. You get you get a situation where a meme happens, and then a week later, it's gone. It's over. Oh shit, Cogfort rules are out? Shh, don't tell anyone. We're gonna cover it in the news segment. I have finished my coffee, and now I've moved on to water. Delicious, delicious agua. I'm gonna do something that Paul Atreides could never do. Check this out. Delicious. Damn. Delicious aqua gyranus. We need to find a new bit. New bits come and go, chat. They come naturally. There's an Iron Maiden song about Dune. That doesn't surprise me. Like Hawkeye Go being an audible narrator.
Thank you for listening. Thank you. I'm sorry. If you hated this audiobook, I'm sorry.
Imagine we get Spearhead rules for a cog fort. I feel that Spearhead has like it's not perfect balance, but it has more balance than something like Combat Patrol. So they wouldn't make cog fort Spearhead because that's too much. That's way too much. We get Skeledwarf with a crunchy audio as an audible narrator. I kind of wish I still had the audio files of every Dark Souls game on my PC. I had every sound effect and every voice file from Dark Souls 1 on my PC. And, oh my god. It was jump scare every time I would find one of Go's. Because it's so fucking loud. They confirmed Combat Patrol sticking around, sadly. That's not my problem. My problem isn't Combat Patrol sticking around. My problem is Combat Patrol rules-wise is awful and not streamlined and sucks. I don't understand why they're not just throwing Combat Patrol away and making 40k Spearhead. Well, A, you shouldn't... Calling something else Spearhead is a bad move for marketing. B, Combat Patrol is bad in that its rules are clunky. Combat Patrol is basically just 40k but worse. Yes. I have attempted to play more Combat Patrol than I have 40k, and genuinely, like, after playing Combat Patrol, I was like, does 40k suck? There's not much difference. A few rules changes in Combat Patrol could totally be a Spearhead. That's the thing that is the most frustrating, is that when playing Combat Patrol, you can see it and go, there is a game here. There is something here. It's just, you need a refresh of it, and maybe 11th edition, please, for the love of God, we'll have a bit of a refresh. But since we're going into it, breaking news. Breaking news. We have some 40k news, everybody. We have some new edition releases. We've got the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Companion, an introductory guide to the world of Warhammer 40k pack with positive background lore on the galaxy and factions warring over. Okay. Don't buy this. Okay. I am speaking as somebody who has the 40k character encyclopedia, and I've gone and perused through the book that's like, here's the background, faction, setting, shit, whatever, from the previous book, the one with Gilliman on it. Unless you are like straight up brand new. I'm saying you've never even heard of Warhammer before. I don't think this is worth whatever it's going to cost. Baby First Combat Patrol book. No, this is a lore primer. That's what this is. Designed to be the perfect starting point for new builders, painters, and players, but also has a wealth of content for seasoned veterans who also want a quality book that covers all aspects of their hobby. Wrong. Wrong. Oh, this is... Yeah, no, this is like you give this to a child. Yeah, this is like you have just figured out what the fuck Warhammer is, and you have no idea where to go. It's the Combat Patrol magazines collected in a book. Oh. Yeah, so this is like, here's what the hobby is. Here's what a codex is. Here's a lore primer on everything. Yeah, you give this to like a 10-year-old. I mean, if you've got like a family member, like a nephew or a niece or something who's like kind of into stuff like this, or you think they would be really into this, or they are interested in it, I don't know. I think this would be a cool gift for a kid. I think that'd be really neat. But for all of us, nah. Nah. None of us need this. Sorry, I'm just looking at this guy's tube. Holy. That's crazy. That's huge. $184-page book is split between the general overview of the Warhammer hobby and key concepts for new players, which could be used in concert with an upgraded Warhammer 40k app to play games of Combat Patrol, and an expansive guide to the setting and each army you can play. Even if you're just getting it for the lore, it's a lavishly presented book full of fantastic artwork, world of grim darkness you know and love. I bought the character encyclopedia to get Lieutenant Titus, and like literally, I think a month after I got that, they were like, by the way, Captain Titus. I don't even think it was a month. I think it was like a week or two. It was crazy. It just feels like Extra Steps version to that one booklet that comes with the 10th edition starting set, the one with a Marine and a Termagant. That that is supposed to combo with this. My cousin, she's like in middle school, high school. Well, I think she's about to get in high school. Whatever. She's young, right? And last time I saw her, I was talking to her mom, and I was like, hey, would you be all right if I got her these little models? And she was like, yeah, totally. It'd be a fun like activity. She loves arts and crafts and stuff. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I talked to her, and I was like, what are you more interested in? Fantasy or science fiction? And she said, I love fantasy. And I said, okay. So I went, got the Stormcast one that comes with 3 Stormcast, assembled them, primed them, because I asked her mom, and I was like, would she be into that? She went, no. She's not going to have the patience for that. I said, okay. Came back. The joy on this kid's face. She was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And we painted some Stormcast together, and she had a great time. It was fun. So then, how old? She's like, I'm so bad with family members' ages. She's like in middle school. She's like 12 or something. But we sat down, we did it, and then, she had a great time. I asked because the 10-year-old is getting hobby curious. I think 10 years old is a good time to get into Warhammer. Like, because you're a kid, you have free time. And also, I think it teaches really good... I think it does teach good lessons like patience. Obviously, like, you have to be careful, so like you're gonna really work your fingers. And like some kids, like I did a lot of drawing in school, so this is where I got like my whole thing of like patience and stuff. But it's also just like a fun hobby, you know? Yeah, I think around 10, like if I had a kid, if and when I have a kid, I think 10 is going to be around the time where I'm like, all right, kid, check this out. This is a Space Marine. Do you want to paint it? And they're going to be like, oh my God. Yes. Or I'm going to be a cool parent and go, this is a Space Marine. They suck. Check this out. This is a Stormcast. All right. Terrain arena set. With the new rules of terrain and objectives shaking up how your battlefields look and function, it helps to have a standardized terrain set area for footprints to make a example. All right. Chat. If you don't want these, you know what you should do? There's this cool thing called cardboard. She seen me painting Sylvaneth and said that they were really cool and pretty, and my heart grew 10 sizes. Dude, kids love fantasy. They have the whimsy in their heart. So fantasy, like, there's obviously kids who are like hella into sci-fi, so they're going to be more they're going to gravitate more towards like 40K or something. But a lot of kids, in my experience as like a teacher, a lot of kids really, really, really fuck with fantasy. And I think a large part of that is me just completely speculating. I think a large part of that genuinely is because their lives is so they're so full of Star Wars, and Star Wars is such like a constant. Now fantasy feels like the, ooh, what's this? Oh, whoa, why is nobody doing anything with it? You know what I mean? It's wild. Took the fam to a Warhammer store yesterday. The boyo had fun in the name of Sigmar. Oh my God, he has the hammer. He's going to kill us! A mighty warrior. I'm not going to show your kid on stream, but that's so adorable. A mighty warrior of Sigmar's army. Holy. She already loves watching Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Last year, I broke out the old animated Hobbit movie and was like, check this shit out. Yes! Yes! I mean, push them for Star Wars to Warhammer? No. I'm saying generally speaking, as someone who taught kids in the age range of like 6 to 12, like the pop culture, Star Wars is a constant. Sci-fi is like everywhere. Whereas even when I was growing up, it was still kind of like fantasy and magic, and you know, like I grew up in like the Harry Potter generation. That was my youth, right? Where now kids are growing up and like they have Star Wars in their face all the time. So fantasy now is like a new different thing. And obviously this comes down to the fucking, what is the kid like, you know? But you know, it all depends on what they like. And but I have, what I was trying to say is I've noticed a lot more kids are way more curious about fantasy nowadays than they are sci-fi. Thinking about there's not really a big fantasy thing right now that's the mainstream like Star Wars is. Exactly. I just missed Lord of the Rings because I was born in 2000. So by the time I was going like, oh, I have like independent thought, like those movies were kind of like, you know, whatever. And I never really fucked with Star Wars visually as a kid. And then when I met my... Okay, this is going to be a weird sentence. My parents are divorced, so keep this in mind. When I met my second and current stepbrother, this is a weird sentence. He was a big Lord of the Rings fan because he was already like 14. I was like 9 or something. And he was like, you've never seen Lord of the Rings? I said, I don't know what that is. And we watched Lord of the Rings and I went, oh my God. this is the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I think like 9, 10, 11, that's when you put in the bait for the kid. Because the kid is already going to grow up and be like, either I love space guns or laser swords or whatever, or they're going to be like, I love dragons and magic and blah, you know. So showing them something around 9 or 10 that's like a little more adult, like a little more intense. Like Lord of the Rings isn't like the most intense movie ever, but like for a fucking 9, 10-year-old, it can be kind of intense. So, you know, it'll also capture their whimsy. Never-ending Story is a good one, but Never-ending Story is also a whole can of worms because, as we talked about on previous streams, fucking Artax is a whole situation that you gotta think about. Not only that, you've also got the fucking, the statues that shoot you and eviscerate your entire body if you're scared. And then you've got the fucking wolf at the end, and then the overall theme of, like, we're all gonna die, huh? Like, that... I would show my kid Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit before I showed them Never-ending Story. Because as somebody who, when I was really, really little, watched Never-ending Story, because my mom watched it, and she was like, I love the Never-ending Story. Yeah, child, you can watch it. And I went, goo goo gaga, I'm like 6. And then the fucking movie happened, and I'm sitting there going like, oh my god! Nah, be like me, sit down for RoboCop at age 7. That's fucking crazy. 7? Nah. Yeah, child, watch Watership Down. Mm-hmm. My kid is that old, she'd never recover. That would be insane. Hobbit might be more child-friendly compared to Lord of the Rings. I mean, it literally is. Yeah. Like, you watch The Hobbit with your kid. You can watch the Rankin Bass one. Depending on how they feel about spiders, they might get a little freaked out at the spider scene. But overall they'll be fine. Maybe even the goblin thing might freak them out a little bit, but it'll be fine. If you're watching it with your kid, they'll be like a little, they might get a little scared, but because you're there, they'll feel fine. But also the Hobbit movies are grabs you by the neck, slams you into the desk. We're not talking about Peter Jackson's Hobbit movies. We're talking about the classics, okay? We're talking about Rankin Bass from the 70s. Who do you think you are coming in here talking about Peter Jackson's The Hobbit trilogy? What are you? Get out of here! Get out of here! Get him out of here! Crucify him! Ridiculous. I liked the Hobbit movies. That's fine. You can like them. We talking about the one with the slave song? Fake fan, because that was Rankin Bass's adaptation of Return of the King. Did they make the other two? No, they didn't. You know what? Lord of the Rings, you shouldn't show your kids. You shouldn't show them the Ralph Bakshi one. Not because it's like it'll freak them out or anything, but because it kind of sucks. That's the one you shouldn't show them. Unless the child looks at you and in like absolute perfect clarity looks at you and goes, "Parent, I wish to see John Hurt play Aragorn." You go, "Oh, okay." If she does get genuinely curious, I'll give her an overview of the various fantasy armies and see if any of them spark joy in her eyes. So I had that. With my my little cousin, because she's a bit younger, and we were talking about it as we were painting, and she was like, "So what are these guys?" And I was like, "Oh, these are warriors who have been taken by the God King Sigmar to fight the forces of evil. So he takes like men and women and anybody else who is a hero. And, you know, I was giving her the whole thing. And she was like, what kind of, like, do they have, like, friends and stuff? And I was like, yeah, they ride dragons and things. And she was like, whoa. Like, that had her, like, look at me for a sec. She was like, whoa, they ride dragons? I was like, yeah. And they have, like, bird griffins that they have griffins and stuff that they ride on, too. And, like, griffin dogs and stuff. And she was like, whoa, that's really cool. And I was like, yeah. And sometimes they're friends with, they're friends with giant lizard people who ride on dinosaurs. And she put the model down and looked at me, her jaw agape, and I went, I've got her. Locked in. I got her. Got her. She made me pull up my phone and show her pictures, in which case she was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I went, mm-hmm. All it takes is one. But yeah, that sparkle in their eye, when they start to get really into something, oh, best feeling in the world. That was my favorite part of being a teacher. Let's keep going through these. The terrain set includes 16 double-sided card templates that can recreate all of the official terrain maps for the new edition of 40K, spread across 5 different sizes and shapes. They can be layered with any terrain features you have on hand to create interesting battlefields with clearly defined objectives, and they're really easy to transport boot. They're really easy to transport to boot. Core rules. Okay. All these goodies go up for pre-order after the Warhammer 40K Armageddon, so keep an eye trained for the Warhammer community for more info. Gabby, if you're still here, they're probably going to release the price soon, and we should talk shop on, like, how we're going to split that. Most likely, we're going to be looking at $250 American dollars, and we'll have to split that down the middle. We'll see. We'll see, but we don't know. I know this article started with a book mentioning Combat Patrol. They're changing that, right? No. This is Combat Patrol Companion. This is what got us onto the conversation that we're talking about here. This is what you give to a kid or a family member who is quite young, who has no idea what the fuck Warhammer is. And they might have seen you painting models and go, what is that? I'm curious about that. What is that? I'm kind of interested. You get them this book. You give it to them and you go, this is what Warhammer is. And they go, oh. What if I simply ate all your Blood Angels? They're not Blood Angels. They're generic Space Marines. What are you talking about, Blood Angels? This guy thinks that simply because they're painted that way on the box, that is the models that they are destined to be. This fool, this charlatan. We got an Underworld's War band coming on. I don't know how Underworld's works, so frankly, all of this is going to go right over my head. I've never met another human being who plays Underworlds. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 people talk about it online. No clue. But chat, let's get to the news that everybody has been waiting for. It's time to talk about the Cog Fort. It's time to talk about the Cog Fort, everybody. Okay, everybody lock in. It's Cog Fort rules time. Okay. The Cog Fort comes in 2 main patterns. The Godbreaker Cannon and the Conqueror, which can transport a unit of infantry directly into the fray. Both variants of are engineering marvels, able to dominate the battlefield with devastating ranged weaponry and crushing iron feet. All right. Cannonade Cog Fort. You got 2 cannons. Now remember, the way AOS works, you're shooting both of these. Unless the rules state otherwise, you are shooting both of these. So Godbreaker Cannon. 24-inch range, 4 attacks. You're rolling 4 dice that hit on 4s. wound on 2s, rend 2! Rend 2, everybody! 4 damage per successful wound. Holy fucking shit. That is insane. That is a monster killer. That is a boss killer. And then you have the Breacher Cannon, which is anti-infantry, which gives it +1 rend. So if the target that you are firing at has the infantry keyword, it will have 2 rend instead of 1 rend. Range 12 inches, 6 dice you're rolling for the attacks. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. Rend 1, 2 if it's infantry, 2 damage. That is really good. But let's get to the real spicy. The Conqueror Cogfort has the Realm Scorcher Flame Cannon, which also has anti-infantry +1 rend. 18-inch range. 6d6 attacks. You're rolling 6 dice. And the total is what you're rolling for the attack. So you roll those dice. So sorry. You're rolling 6d6. So you're rolling 6 dice. Wait, no, hold on. This is fucking crazy. I've never even fathomed that. This is like a Skaven rule. This thing is gonna melt armies. Yes, this is gonna fucking melt armies. You're hitting on 2s, you're wounding on 4s. Rend 1 or rend 2 if you're infantry. 1 damage. Hello, Skaven. Hello, group of 40 clan rats. There's a group of 40 clan rats on that objective. I no longer wish for them to exist. This is disgusting. Anything between 6 and 36 hits. Thank you for the quick math. Thank you. I'm blown away at the 6d6 2-up hit. Yeah, this is gonna kill armies. Chat, remind me, my Skaven players, Clan Rats have a save of 6 up, or is it 5 up? I now realize why they made it available for all factions. I think it's just because it's a fucking wonderful model. This Discworld ass contraption, fiddle-dee-dee ass fucking fort. God motherfucking damn. Alrighty. So here's the big mechanic. Full power and full charge. If you pick one of these in your hero phase, command phase if you're coming from 40k, pick one or more of the following effects. For each effect you pick, give this unit a number of heat tokens equal to the number beside it. So for full power, we have launch countermeasures. Until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from hit rolls or shooting attacks that target other friendly Sigmarite units while they are fully within 12 inches of this unit and are under orders. So basically, the cog fort is making it... It's protecting the little guys underneath it. 2 heat tokens. Full throttle. For the rest of the turn, this unit's move characteristic is 10 inches. That's fucked up. What is the regular movement? 3 heat tokens. Calculate fire solution. For the rest of the turn, each time this unit uses a shoot ability, you can re-roll one hit roll and 1 wound roll for shooting attacks made with this unit's Godbreaker cannon. Jesus. 6. Get us out of here. For the rest of the turn, this unit can use shoot abilities even if it used a retreat ability in the same turn. So, did a monster lock down the cog fort? Now, it costs 6 heat tokens. We'll talk about what the heat tokens do in just a second. So if a monster is locked down the cog fort, or something's like very, very scary, and is coming this way, and you're in combat with it, just retreat and then shoot at it. Full charge. Pick one of the following effects. Heat tokens, yada yada yada. 1 heat token. If this unit uses the Sally Forth ability this turn, melee weapons used by the targets of that ability have charge plus 1 damage for the rest of the turn. Pretty good. Full throttle. Same thing as the other one. Repel borders. For the rest of the turn, add 2 to the attack characteristic of this unit's crew, lead shotters, and crushing iron feet. So again, we're only seeing the guns. This thing is going to have a huge amount of attacks. 4. Disengage safeties. For the rest of the turn, the attacks characteristic of this unit's Realm Scorcher Flame Cannon is 22. You can take 4 heat tokens to just guarantee, yeah, we're rolling 22 dice. Fuck off. Get us out of here. For the rest of the turn, this unit can use shoot abilities even if you use... Okay, yeah, same thing as the other one. Does AOS have tank shock? Not exactly. Alright, overheating. Immediately after resolving this unit's full charge ability, you must roll a number of dice equal to the number of heat tokens this unit has. For each 5-up, allocate 1 damage point to this unit. Ward rolls cannot be made for those damage tokens, and then remove 1 of this unit's heat tokens. So, this makes a lot of sense. As you are accumulating heat, the riskier your plays are becoming, and the more useful the ability, potentially the more damage you're taking. I like that. There will be times in battle where the benefits of overcharging your cog fort far outweigh the risk of damage, and sometimes the God King smiles on you and none of your rolls are a 5-up. Don't worry if the dice aren't in your favor. You can heal your war machine with various prayers and the rally command. Vessel of Sigmar, Pontifex. Wait a minute. The Cogfort's is going to be a prime target of your enemy, so it's important that you give it some support. The new Free Guild Gallants will smash through anything that charges your Cogfort. The Free Guild Cavaliers offer you a lose-lose choice of what to charge. We're also a fan of Pontifex Zenestra, whose Vessel of Sigmar prayer will give anyone strike last should they charge your piston-limbed behemoth. Oh, yeah. If you get a cog fort, how would you kit bash it since any faction can have one? I imagine Gloomspite towers covered in mushrooms or Nighthaunt towers crawling with ghosts and glowing unnaturally. I collect Slaves to Darkness. I don't know. I feel like just having it as like a Cities of Sigmar thing would be pretty cool. I also have like a Spearhead of Stormcast. Like, I don't know. I'm also coming from the perspective of like, as someone who plays Slaves to Darkness, I don't need this thing. My army is strong enough already. I don't need this. Ooh. The new Cities of Sigmar Battletome also includes an army of renown, the Iron March, built around a cadre of elite cogforts, and introduces 2 new patterns: the Immolator, which pairs the Realm Scorcher Flame Cannon with a Breacher Cannon, and the Line Breaker, which has a Godbreaker Cannon and a Transport Hold. Oh. 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 The enhancements for the Iron March are all based around legendary commanders, engineers, and auxiliaries. Commander de Gresson lets 2 of your war machines make a normal move in the deployment phase. What? What? This unit and up to 1 other friendly Iron March war machine within this unit's combat range can use the normal move ability as if it were your movement phase. What? Passive. Engineer Bartel Hulst. This unit has Ward 6 up and Strike Last. Bartel Hulst can make your cogforts even harder to kill with a Ward of 6 up. The drawback of Strike Last is far less of an issue on a Conqueror that spends time raining down volleys on your enemies while staying well out of melee range. Broadmoor and Luce are a free guild marshal and relic envoy famed for taking a cogfort to war, as well as increasing the number of shooting attacks you can make. Should their war machine be destroyed, they can leap clear to continue the fight. Broadmoor and Louise add 2 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's cruise-led shotters. In addition, if this unit is destroyed before removing it from play, roll a dice. On a 3-up, you can set up a free guild marshal and relic envoy within 6 inches of this unit that are not in combat. That unit has the Iron March keyword. So, this is so flavorful, and I love this. Okay, the cogfort has gone down. Okay. Roll a dice. Do Broadmoor and Luce get out of the cogfort? Yes. Okay, set up these models. That's fucking awesome. This is your stop maggots. Once per battle, any charge phase. Pick this unit's passengers to be the targets. Set up each target wholly within 6 inches of this unit and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. In addition, all the target's melee weapons have charge +1 damage for the rest of the turn. The entire crew gets out. Not every Castellan captain has remained loyal to the God King. Regiments of Renown rules allow you to add 1 such fugitive war machine in any army in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The Outlaw Cogforts have their own set of abilities. The commander of a Conqueror can tell their passengers, "This is your stop, maggots." Ah, okay, I understand. That makes more sense. But who's marching down the ramp? Orc brutes rushing to call in a Wa? Brutal Chaos Chosen, Iron Guts, and a Tyrant. You can really make the most out of your super choppy units. The Cogfort will be available to pre-order from Saturday, along with the Battletome for Cities of Sigmar and a host of other new miniatures. Join us throughout the week as we take a closer look at fresh and updated rules for our followers of the God King. Jesus Christ. There's a special ammunition too. Choose from a null shot to mitigate against ward rolls, heavy shot to increase your rend characteristic, or grape shot to also damage additional enemy units. Dude, fuck off. Yeah, this is a knight. They've put a knight into Cities of Sigmar, which is honestly perfect. If you do manage this, let us know. We keep rolling lots of 5-ups and blowing up our cogforts. Give them a corn banner and fight twice. Yup. Okay, so here's how you use this with Slaves of Darkness. This article has told me. You load up as many Chaos Chosen as you can into the Cogfort. The Cogfort's survival is optional. You run them to the middle of the field. You dump them onto the middle objective. Congratulations, you have now made a very, very, very scary taxi. Holy, bro. I filled the Cogfort with giants. No, I bet in order to transport, the thing must have an infantry keyword. All Gargants do not have an infantry keyword. They have monster. You will not be able to transport monsters. Unless Twirl's hair kicks feet. Unless It would just be so cool if we could transport one monster. Ooh. Oops, now you have fast Maggotkin. So, to be fair, we don't know the actual range of movement of the Cogfort. We know we can, for 2 heat tokens, so potentially 2 damage, we can make the move characteristic 10 inches. That's already pretty good. That's just a move. That's not even charging. So you could... Hold on. So the way abilities work is that the abilities happen, and then you go into the phase. So once per battle, any charge phase, this is your stop maggots. What this means is you have a chosen bomb. You have a reinforced unit of chosen inside the Cogfort. The Cogfort, you spend heat tokens to make it move 10 inches up the field. Then, in the charge phase, you go, this is your stop maggots. There they go. They're in the middle of the field. And then they charge into whatever's in front of them. This is disgusting. Gonna be 5 inches. It genuinely, it might be 5 inches. There's a campaign for Soulbound called Blackened Earth, where you go to Greywater Fastness from Hammerhall Axia, and you go through a realm gate, and they go, hey, we have a Cogfort waiting for you. It is specifically a Cogfort designed to move fast. So I get the idea that these things are not going to be very quick. I'm imagining 5-inch movement is very realistic. I would even consider it might be 4 inches. And that's not a problem, because from everything we can see with this thing's rules, you don't want it in combat. You want it in your backline shooting things, which means you're probably going to want a bunch of steel helms or knights or something around the Cogfort protecting it, which, again, is really on brand for what the Cogfort is. This thing is like a, let's go into the wilderness and try to establish a settlement. Like, this is awesome. AOS, can I copy your homework? 40k, yeah, just make sure it's not too noticeable. Puts an Imperial Knight in AOS. Yeah, but it's, like, much cooler. I wonder if a Nighthawk Cogfort would gain the Eternal Keyword ability, Walking Ghost Tower. No, Regiments of Renown do not gain the main army. Like, if I had orcs in my Slaves of Darkness army, orcs don't benefit from the Slaves to Darkness rules. They're just there. They have their own rules. It's like, I've brought my army, and then here's this group of the Funky Bunch. And the Funky Bunch do their own Funky Bunch things. So, yeah, Cogforts are going to be scary. And you're going to see a lot of tournaments in the next couple months. Howl's moving gun platform. I mean, literally. You're going to see a lot of tournaments with Cogforts. A lot of tournaments with Cogforts. Don't Deepkin have some funky movement rules that would go really good with this thing? Yes, but again, the army, if I paired it with Deepkin, the Deepkin rules don't affect the Regiment of Renown. So whatever movement buffs or artillery buffs or whatever that is not a Cities of Sigmar army, the Cogfort will just do its own thing. Deep strike cog forts. No, you can't. One monster in cog fort proceeds to put Nagash in cog fort. That would be so fucking funny. Oh, that would be so funny. Cogfort looks really crazy, though. Deep King Cogfort would go so hard, covered in seaweed and coral. Absolutely. Like, this is going to be a painter's dream. This is a Kit Basher painter's dream. Of just... take this thing. You can use it in any army. Doesn't matter. It's not like... I need to be clear. This is not, hey... every army now has a war scroll that says Cog Fort. No. The Cog Fort for every faction has a war scroll that does not interact with the army that you are pairing it with. That's not how this works. Yet. No, that's how regiments of renown work. Let me give you an example. There's a regiment of renown called it's a Troggoth and a Goblin. So if I go to Slaves to Darkness, right? In Slaves to Darkness, we have all these fancy rules about, like, pledging to Khorne or Nurgle or whatever. And you have banners that you can give them that give really powerful abilities. But we also have these regiments of renown. And one of them is Snurk's Trog for Hire, which is one Loon Boss and one Dankhold Troggoth. It can go in all these armies. The only rules that Snurk's Trog for Hire has is it has the attack profile of what it has, and it has these rules. Go that way and tactical cowering. It does not get affected by getting marked Nurgle or Khorne or whatever. It doesn't get targeted by army abilities. It is just, here's my Slaves to Darkness, also here's Snurk and his Trog for Hire. And the narrative that we can make here is, for some reason, my Chaos Warriors have hired this Goblin and this Troggoth because we need that for some reason. I'm considering a Cog Fort for a Golden Demon entry. You're going to see a lot of those for Golden Demon. You're going to see a lot of Cog Forts for Golden Demon. Exile Scavengers. An eye for loot. This ability must be used to deploy this Regiment of Renown. Set up this unit in the Regiment of Renown in reserve, studying the battlefield. They have now been deployed. In your movement phase, they can use Swoop In. Pick the Grunstuck Gunhauler in this Regiment of Renown. If it has studied the battlefield, set up the Grunstuck Gunhauler on the battlefield more than 6 inches from all enemy units that have an artifact of power and more than 9 inches from all other enemy units. Then, set up all other units in this Regiment of Renown wholly within 3 inches of the Grunstuck Gunhauler and more than 6 inches from all enemy units. What's yours is mine. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit in this Regiment of Renown to be the target. Then, pick an artifact of power the target has. Roll a dice. Add 1 to the roll for each unit in this Regiment of Renown that is in combat with the target on a 6-up. The target no longer has that artifact of power. Stealing. Lighthouse Cog Fort would go hard. Poolgoth Shudderhood. 1 Harbinger of Decay, 1 Putrid Blight Kings with 5 models, 1 Puscoil Blight Lords with 2 models. What's the Blight Lord again? It's the fly ones, right? Yeah, okay. Fog of Despair. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit regiment now while they are wholly within 9 inches of the Harbinger And once per turn, any hero phase, heal 1 each unit in this regiment for now. Yeah. Huh. Oh. So yeah, this will be interesting as we go through what Cogforts people are playing. It's going to be interesting seeing how the game changes as people go through. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how things. Excuse me. How things keep going. But that's it for our. Oh, that was the wrong one. That's it for our Warhammer news today, y'all. News is over. No more news. News is dead? Damn right. Chad, I don't want to paint the trim, but it must happen. We'll be getting any more AOS vids soon. I was re-listening to the Stormcast video while at the gym and was wondering when the next one will be. The next one will be on the Mortal Realms. It'll be after Sanguinius's episode. No, wait. Schedule check. 1 minute. It'll be after Sanguinius. So we're going to do High Elves. Part 1 and 2. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Sanguinius, Mortal Realms. How did you know, Possum? I was literally looking at our DMs right this second. How did you fucking know? You little.
It always comes down to the hunter's helper to score 3 pointers.
Oh, man. Yeah, so the current schedule. I don't know why I'm so yawny. What the hell? I had my coffee. Why didn't it do anything? What the fuck? We're doing High Elves Part 1, which is focusing on like the Legend of Venarian, and then High Elves Part 2, which is focusing on like, hey, here's the history of the Phoenix Kings, and here's where High Elves are today. And it's fun. We had a good time. Recording. Sanguinius will be after that. It'll be good. And then after that, we are going to release a video on the Mortal Realms. A two-parter? How intriguing. Yeah, it's a two-parter because the Legend of Venarian has so much in it. It's like a full story in and of itself. And then that's not even getting into, hey, there's a lot of history that happens between the first Phoenix King and the current Phoenix King. There's a lot of shit that happens. Space Jam, but it's the Orphan of Cause. That might exist. Y'all finally talked about my favorite asthmatic twink. Yeah, no, Carrie really likes Sanguinius. I talked about it yesterday, or the last painting stream, but yeah, she really likes Sanguinius. Oh, you meant Techless. Sorry. There's a lot of twinks in Warhammer, despite the fact that Space Marines look like that. Possum, since you're here, are you also really confused whenever someone brings up that Fulgrim is supposed to be like androgynous? Because of that description? Because the sentence that appears in that people point to literally contradicts itself in the same sentence. As far as emperors are concerned, Sanguinius is my favorite one. He has a lot going on. And that's something that we really discussed as we went into it. Like, on the surface, it's like, oh, he's the nice one. It's like, no. He's more interesting than that. Yes, it does confuse me. Okay, thank you. Come here. We're the same. Thank fucking God. It also confuses me. Fulgrim's the androgynous one. Looks at the text that describes him as androgynous, but also, like, incredibly huge because the author was like, I want to really write a twink, but also Space Marines are fucking freaks and massive. So what do I do here? It's crazy! The sentence literally contradicts itself. I can't. It's insane. Can I find the line? I'm getting a call from a family member. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music. I'm back. I have returned. What was I looking for? All right, I was looking for the exact line. Everything all right with the family? Yeah, we're getting the fucking car shit fixed finally. Because what we thought was a battery problem I don't know. We're figuring it out. We're figuring that out. No, I don't want androgynous art. I want the exact line in the text Is it first heretic? I'm looking for it right now, chat. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm getting another call. I'll be back. 1 second. You're gonna stay on this screen. I'm back. Okay. I'm getting called all the time. Ugh. I think it was First Heretic, where it gets described like that. No, I don't have it. I don't have the book with me, which is unfortunate. This is why I do want physical media, why I do want physical books, because I'd like to just be able to grab this shit and flip through it and go like, look, it says it right here. It's hard to shove an audiobook in someone's face. That's damn true. I remember the line goes something like, Lorgar's body was massive but androgynously slender. Like, that's the sentence. I remember going like, huh? What? He's massive, but also itty-bitty baby. Chat. I think they meant it as slim. If they said that, then it would make more sense than and he was massive, but also androgynously slender. I want to write a twink, but also I'm writing a space marine, so I can't. Presumably they meant proportionally. Maybe. That doesn't change that the sentence is fucking weird. He was as big as a house. He was 10 feet in all directions, but also incredibly androgynously slim. What? Is he huge or is he skinny? Like, what is... Father, I've been bulking. No. No, log off. One second, I'm getting things set up on my end. All right, we're cracking a window open today, chat. And the reason is we're using the alcohol paint. That's right, baby. It's time for alcohol. I can't remember if there was anything else I wanted to touch up before we got into it, but frankly, if I don't remember it, it wasn't important. Okay. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. If anybody needs me, I am working. Today's gonna be a doozy. Alright, y'all. Most of what we're working with today is this. Excuse me, Jesus. Alrighty. Cracking a window open. It's time to shake the ever-living hell out of this thing. Okay. So, this is Veo's liquid metal. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm also going to touch up any of the oil-painted guys that we did before. So like this guy's mask. Yeah. And like the tubage on his backpack and stuff. But first we gotta shake the heck out of this. So if this is your first time watching, this is an alcohol-based paint, which means you need isopropyl alcohol in order to thin it. And that is not good for your lungs. So play it safe. Use this paint in a well-ventilated area. Otherwise, use an acrylic. I don't care. You don't need lung cancer. Remember, there is no thugging out chemistry. You cannot tech chemicals. You can't. No matter how hard you try, you can't do it. You know what? We're actually going to start with this fella. We're going to start with this Emperor's Children guy. Yeah. Yeah. There's not as much trim on these fellas, which is pretty cool. But there's still some. So with this paint, if this is your first time watching, this paint is incredibly liquid. It's called liquid metal for a reason. So You always want to make sure that it is well shaken up. You want to make sure that it is ready to go. And that you want to also be using dedicated paintbrush for a dedicated paintbrush for this step. So I have a bunch of dedicated brushes. I have 3 right here that I used for gold trim like this. I use it for my Ultramarines. I use it for my Stormcast. I use it for my Chaos Marines. I wouldn't be doing this Chaos Marine project if I did not have this paint. This paint is what makes this project possible. Because I am not doing 2 thin coats of trim on every little thing on these minis. Absolutely not. No. Not going to do it. I do not care. While I'm shaking, I'm also determining what minis I want to do. This guy won't take too long, so we'll do him next. Then we'll do the Night Lord. Then we'll do him. And we'll round it out with you. We'll start with some touch-ups on this fella first, though. Alright. We don't need very much. But I'm getting 3 brushfuls of this small brush. And then I'm closing the cap. If we need more paint like this, we are going to have to shake it a little bit again, because I'd rather do that than, you know. You can make it last by thinning it with isopropyl alcohol. I have 2 little, what would you call these? Pots of it. So I can like just touch it and then thin the paint a little bit. The reason why I have 2 is because if I want to clean my brushes, I will use one to wash the brush off of the gold paint and then another one to really clean it. So we've got a little bit on our brush here. I'm just going to go around on this miniature and touch up any of the places that our gold wash, well, our oil wash rather, went and kind of wiped away, because we did not varnish before doing this, and frankly that was kind of a mistake. That's okay, it's a learning experience, you know. Let's see if there's anywhere else that really got hit. This leg a little bit got a little crazy. Now you might be thinking this is going to look really weird if you only do a couple touch-ups here and there, and you're right. Which is why we are going to do the enamel wash with these fellas later as well, because we want the force to look unified in some things and not unified in others. So a way to make them look unified is to actually go through and touch up anything. Some of these, though, I will be keeping. Some of these chips and things I will keep because I think they look really cool. But yeah, we're just going to go through, and as we get more into this trim stuff, it's going to start looking more like a normal Chaos Space Marine painting stream, which is just kind of me mumbling to myself, mumbling to you, some soft background music, and just chill vibes. So we've got this Emperor's Children here, and it's time to get painting. Okay, what do I want to start with, though? Let's start with that little symbol on the belt. Now I'm going to be careful to try and not get this paint on anything I don't want it on, because we can layer over it, which is fine, but trying to alleviate any of the mistakes now instead of just expecting to fix them in the future will help us in the long run. I'm just mostly, for little details like this, tapping my paint in, and because the paint is so runny, it's so liquidy, I don't really have to do anything other than just a little touch. Just a little touch. Now we're going to come to the leg. And again, a lot of this is brush control, pressure control. I got a little bit on the armor panel. That's okay. Also try to be mindful of your brushes becoming frayed at the edges, because that will affect, of course, where the paint is going to go. That's sort of an issue I'm having currently, but that's all right. We can always touch these up. Using this stuff on brushes, though, it will murder them. So I may even start to use different brushes for this, simply because these ones are struggling to do what I want them to do. I'm losing control because my tools are flawed. This is basically me trying to cut a steak with a dull knife. And if you've done such a thing, you'll know it's a lot easier to do these things with proper tools and not old, flawed ones. Good morning, my darling. We just got started painting. We're doing some gold trim on these wonderfully sculpted Emperor's Children models for our Black Legion. We're going through and just touching. I hope you had the most wonderful sleep, my darling, my everything. I hope you had wonderful dreams. And if you didn't, well, that's alright too. Welcome to being awake. I've realized there is no trim on this part, but that's okay, because we can just paint that part and it'll look like the trim is there. Perfectly fine. This is a new sculpt for me. Never painted one of these Emperor's Children guys before. So this is all new. This is uncharted territory for me. And I'm enjoying the process. I do need to be more careful about my brush tip. And that's okay. I'm also doing my best to just not get too much on the pink. Oh my god, I am getting a call. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry. My family, whenever we have to do something that involves, like, us actually talking to, like, a third party, like a garage to fix the car, potentially, it takes, like, 18 fucking phone calls to get anything going. They are people who are, like... My family are people who can't text. They need to call and be like if I was meeting them someplace, they would call me 12 times to be like, okay, I'm leaving right now. Hey, I'm driving right now. I'm going to be there in like 5 minutes, okay? Hey, I'm here. I'm walking into the restaurant that we're going to meet at, okay? Hey, I'm in the restaurant. I just want to let you know. That's how they operate. I love them, but like... Hello, Ava. Can you check the Discord art tab? Yes. 1 second. What the fuck? What the howie? What the... That's so good. Well, sorry, I'm going to call you 18 times to tell you how much I appreciate this, okay? I'm going to call... Oh my god, imagine that was like... Okay, instead of like texting somebody for an art commission or something, they just like call you like 12 times every hour, just going like... I'm adding like, actually a purple line right here. Like, is that okay with you? Like, are you... Maybe this is why I have anxiety around calling, is because I come from a family who just like will not. All they do is call me. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to be like negative about this. It's just funny to me. Oh man, no, dude, well woven. That's fucking sweet. Holy, that's so cool. That's in the art tab in the Discord. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can. 1 minute. Chat. Look at this. That's fucking awesome, dude. Hell yeah. That's so sweet. That's fucking sweet, man. Hell yeah. Oh. Oh. This is good. Thank you. That's very sweet. That's very, very sweet. Alright, I'm back. I'm properly back. I hope. Okay. We're back to painting, everybody. It's happening again. Alrighty. Got our paint. It's now properly tacky, so I'm mixing some isopropyl alcohol. But holy, that's so cool. That's cool. Dude, I love fan art. Fan art's awesome. I love all fan art. Like, holy heck. I know, that's what I'm saying, babe. I love art. I love fan art. I love all art. I'm gonna do Carrie next. That's gonna be so fucking fun. When Carrie has solo streams, we're just gonna be yapping at each other. Oh my god. Whoa, way too liquidy, way too liquidy. No, no, no. But given the phone call that I just had, we're not going to do as much progress on this as I thought initially. I'm probably going to go for maybe another half hour, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll head off, and I got to take care of some stuff. Carrie, we're getting the car thing situated. So... Oh, also, when I called my mom yesterday, she did, like, tell me independently. She was like, oh, yeah, if, like, she wants to come down and, like, your car isn't ready, just let me know. And I'll, like, come... You can come with me and we can pick her up. And I was like, I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you. And then there was another part of me that was like... Carrie is essentially my fiance. Like, she basically is my fiance. Our relationship isn't, like, super, like, orthodox or whatever. But it is kind of embarrassing to be like, my mommy came and picked us up. My mommy. Mommy, can you come pick up me and my girlfriend, please? Mommy. My girlfriend wants to... No, she's so sweet. No, it's very sweet, but it's just a me thing where I'm like... There is, like, something deep in my subconscious where I'm like, I'm going to give Carrie the egg. I'm like, if I do this, the ick, it'll happen. Every partner fears giving their other significant other the ick. Bob, can you take us to the mall? Mommy, can we go to the mall, please? Mommy, we want to go out to eat. Can you drive us? No, it's very sweet of her. It's very, very sweet. She was telling me, she was like, this car stuff was supposed to be solved like a month ago, but just everybody keeps forgetting. Like, everybody is so busy. And I was like, Mom, I said this to her. I said this verbatim. I said, listen, I know a thing or two about psychology, and I'm 99% sure that everybody in this family has some form of ADHD on some level, because holy fuck, none of us can get anything done. We are fucked. Mother, I am pinned here. I've just got the yapping animation over on my monitor. It's just, dude, that's fucking me, bro. I'm fucking yapping. Holy. But yeah, we're probably going to go for a little of a half hour and then go from there. Boy howdy, I mean, this has thrown a wrench into my plans for today, but that's fine. We'll probably at least have time to get this guy done. This Emperor's Children fella. Maybe a little more time for some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Today's looking to be a busy day. I gotta do this car stuff. I gotta call, well, not call. I'm not gonna call anybody. I'm not that person. I gotta get back to a couple emails. One of which is very enticing. I gotta get the editor and see where they're at on the video, see if we're on schedule. If we're not on schedule, I gotta let some other people know, because also this week is when we're going to have a sale on the Orchidate merch shop. So if you're gonna buy some stuff from our merch, do it whenever the sale happens. When's it gonna happen? Well, whenever the video come out. Yeah. Luckily, the sponsor we're working with for the video is very loose with when the video should come out. and I really appreciate that. A lot of sponsors we work with, sometimes, like 99% of them, awesome, great. But there's been one or two sponsors where they're like, could you upload this on this specific day at this specific hour and this, and I'm like, you're asking me to make a lot of promises for your business, and I'm gonna tell you right now that the production of this show, it ain't gonna happen. Like, I'm glad you think of me and my show as being like on that tight of a schedule, but we ain't there yet, man. We gotta work up to that, and we're gonna, but we gotta get there first. Marriage is when you start to try to give the other the ick because it's funny. I do try to give Carrie the ick sometimes. It is really funny. I start quoting Island Boy at her, and she just goes, stop. But I can't let that become a vocal stim, though. But it would be so funny. They are very bad people, but it's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny, though. The context of the video itself, it's so funny. Oh my god. Don't kick Sergeant Vasquez out. There's always room for a second chance. There's always room for a second chance. Yeah, but basically all I gotta do right now, and I appreciate my family helping me get this set up, all I gotta do is call the peeps, call AAA, and be like, yo, could you bring it to this place? And they'll be like, yeah. And then we'll go from there. Luckily, we found a place. Remember how I told you the starter is going to be like... The one guy told me like $600. Well, my fam found a guy who's like, I'll do it for $300. I was like, damn, okay. So we're going to go that route. And that's nice. $300 though is still a little steep for me, so I might work something out with fam about that. It's a little steep at the moment. Listen, taxes like really kicked my teeth in for a little bit, cause whew. But it's all good. I mean, it was expected because, you know, I'm self-employed. I don't pay state taxes whenever, like, state taxes aren't taken into account when, like, Google AdSense sends me stuff. Okay, we gotta get a little more gold. So far, if he'll focus, come together. This is not to say, like, I need to worry about, like, my money and stuff. It's just I need to be a little more mindful right now. But, like, I'm not like, oh my god, I'm gonna starve. Like, I'm not, no. I am very comfortable where I am right now. And also, $300, like, that's a significant amount of money anyway, but it's also, like, that's potentially a trip that Carrie can have down here that I can pay for, you know what I mean? So that she can hang out. and we can like do gay shit. I have to budget. That's the word I was looking for. I need to budget a little more. That's a pretty universal feel right now. Yeah, no, but it's just like, especially with this car stuff. But I always get like this whenever there's like a big purchase that I have to do. You know what I mean? Whenever there's a big purchase on the horizon, I'm always like, oh, you know? Yeah. Try to budget yourself. Especially if you're into an expensive hobby like this. Like, oh my god, you need to budget yourself. If you're not budgeting your Warhammer shit, you need to. I don't care your situation. Budget it. I don't care. If you are considering buying models and you don't really have the budget for it, and you're like, oh, but I could get that cog for it, and it's going to be like $200. Like, no. Don't do that. I've budgeted and know that I can split the 11th edition box with my buddy. But if you're like, oh, I can just buy it, no. No. Budget, please. Right now, our entertainment budget is focused on the impending 11th edition starter box. Exactly. Yep. You get a budget, you talk to your partner, you make a plan, and you go, hey, this box is coming out. I would like it. Or you both would like it. And you go, okay, well, what can't we do? Oh, Carrie, by the way, the YouTube notification, they're on to me. They know that I'm not Canadian. So, on like the 20th, they're ending the YouTube Premium for me. So it's back to ad block for me. I can't be on the family plan. Any one of us could be a secret Canadian. It could be you. It could even be me. Oh, excuse me. I was off camera for a little bit there. Ooh, painting that Emperor's Children symbol is really nice. Are you Canadian? Threat. Wait, really? Yeah. They sent me the thing that like Netflix had where it was like, hey, you need to be in the same location as the family manager. So it's telling me you ain't part of this family. I was like, oh fuck. But it's all good. Listen, I have ad block. I can live with like my phone having some ads on it. That's fine. I don't even like listen to YouTube on my phone very often. It's mostly books right now. It's mostly books. Look at that. Mmm. Delicious. The same internet as HostBit sucks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we can get so much more money from people. But like it sucks too because like I would be more okay with this kind of stuff if YouTubers were paid properly. Like every so often I see people talking about like I'm so sick of YouTubers and sponsorships and stuff. And I got to tell you, it's because AdSense ain't what it used to be. Google AdSense only goes so far. Especially with a schedule, an inconsistent schedule like ours. You know? Like most of our money, we've told people before, because someone like on a stream or something asked, is it better to pay large amounts or like smaller amounts over time with something like Patreon? And I said, consistency. Consistency is the thing that's going to really like make a change. It's the consistency. Ooh, I'm making such a mess. Oh God. It's fine. The mess has been made. We can clean it up later. It's fine. It's not that they want more money, it's that they want all the money that has ever existed and ever will exist. I mean, yeah, we've had this conversation many times on this stream. Late stage capitalism is a beast that eats everybody, including itself. Late stage capitalism is no one's friend, not even the capitalist's friend. But that's the design of late stage capitalism. Nothing works. Everything is worse. There was like a whole thing I read about, I think it was shoes. I think I talked about this on stream, or maybe it was just with my friends. But like there's shoes that people have compared from like 10 years ago, where those shoes are still good. But then they compare them to shoes that are made within the last 5 years, or within the last 2 years even. And they're made with worse materials, they're more expensive, and they break way sooner. It's crazy. We're told that we have to buy worse products more consistently because they are designed to break. This product sucks. Yeah, but it's the only product you can buy, so suck it up and buy it. So the difficulty with this paint is ironically tinier details, like engravings and stuff. It's actually worse at doing those. You might think it's better, but it's not, because it's so runny, it's so liquidy. So there's two things you can do. Either wait for the paint to become tacky, then kind of try to use it as a dry brush, but even then that'll only take you so far. Or you just switch to a normal acrylic and just drag your paint over it. I think we need more gold on the backpack. That's what I've decided. We need a little more gold on the backpack. We're going to make these little tubage things here. We're going to make those gold. It's a bit messy. This step usually is, but we're going to keep it like this. Very good. In fact, we're going to make this little thing here. We're going to make that gold. Because why not? Why not? Just checking over. I'm just making sure. I mean, it's the badge is already messy and might as well just touch it up, right? Time is that? I've got about 8 minutes. Well, we can get started on like a lightning claw. Why not? And then I'm gonna go shower and get some stuff done. Chat, tonight's more Infinity Nikki, I believe, Gary? Correct me if I'm wrong. New Space Marine starter set looks fun. What's the starter set? Is it just like a bunch of orcs? And like 2 Space Marines? Tell me these things. I was going to ask what you wanted to do. If we don't have another game this week, we could break up and do Tomodachi Nikki Tomodachi. I'm kind of down with Tomodachi. Some stuff has happened on the island, and I feel the people... Like, not to get too, like, content-brained, but the Tomodachi streams do really good. Even on the VOD channel. Like, they are the VODs that people are tuning in to watch. The people yearn for the drama. It's a Diet Armageddon box. Saw it on Reddit though. Take it with a grain of salt. Tell me what's in it. We can Tomodachi. We'll Tomodachi then. Can you send me some insane screenshots for the thumbnail then? We'll gather some. Good. The claw, chat. The claw. Let's go a little further. It's well, it's only been a few minutes. We've got 4 minutes before I really want to start wrapping it up. So let's do this shoulder pad. Why not? There's always going to be a cleanup stage after the gold step, because you will probably make a mess. That's okay. It's okay to make a mess. I make a mess all the time. You know what you do? You just clean up. You make a mess, you clean up, And that's that. Doesn't have to be a big deal. Nobody's in trouble. Making a mess is how a lot of things happen. Comes a new captain, librarian, 5-man intercessor, 5-man vanguard vet squads, and the new land speeder. That sounds like a starter set. A question, is that starter set the combat patrol? Or is it just like the... Here's the cheaper get started box? Chad, if you're not interested in that box, let me tell you something. Wait. Let's say you want like the new librarian or the new captain or something, right? Wait like 1 or 2 months. Then go on eBay and see how many people are... Well, not even a month. Wait like a day. And just watch eBay and see how many people are selling their Space Marine minis because they collect orcs. Or how many people are selling their orcs because they play Space Marines. This will happen. And if it's too expensive, wait a little bit. And if it's too expensive then, wait a little longer. Again, you can go buy like 10th edition starter Marines and like the captain and stuff for like $10. Just wait. Be patient. But also keep in mind, like the Vanguard vets are push fit. All the things in the box are going to be push fit. Like you're not going to get any like options or anything. So keep that in mind while you make your purchase. Purchase smartly. Don't buy something that you may hate. Oh, can you hear them? It's noon. That's how you know it's noon. Because the tornado sirens start going off. That's how you know. They test them every Monday at noon. Now, if you get somebody who has never been to Kansas and they tell you, hey, what the fuck is that? You're going to look at them and go, this is a tornado siren. Don't worry about it. And she's going to look at you and be like, what? You're going to be like, yeah, it's normal. What are you talking about? Were you born yesterday? It's the tornado siren, silly. Sweaty, it's just the tornado siren. I don't even remember the tornado sirens, funnily enough. Can you not hear them? Oh no, my noise gate is actually capturing, like it's filtering it out. That's funny. Undivided Night Lord looks pretty sick, don't you think? Do you hear the song the sirens sing? The songs of... singing the songs of an angry wind. Listen, it used to be a lot worse when Kansas didn't have trees. But that wasn't even the problem. The problem was the dust. And then we had the Dust Bowl. And then we were made to read a book in middle school about the Dust Bowl. And it was very sad and very depressing. I hate that book. And it's not because it's sad and depressing. I just kind of think it is also just not good. Like, I don't want to call out the author or anything, but like... Damn, you went through this, like, horrible tragedy and, like... You can't even write, like, an interesting... That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Yeah, what you went through was terrible and everything, but, like, have you tried writing good? That's so fucked up. I forgot Ava knows no music ever. Didn't even get my Les Mis reference. I got the reference. What are you talking about? Chat, I know Les Mis. That's why that guy in that one episode of Deep Space Nine was like flicking me. Because he kept talking about shit and he was like, ah, Javert. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking freak out. This guy sucks. Midnight, just because you're never here when I make my Les Mis reference isn't my fault. Prisoner 5260706026012612601. You are done, lol. See? You know what that means? It means I'm free. No. Again, a little messy. It's, again, to be expected with this step. But so far, Mr. Murder Mittens coming along very, very nicely. We're almost 10 after 12. What to do, what to do. At least at the end of this, you'll get to drive around in a really nice car. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the thing that's been in the back of my mind this entire time of, like... It's just a not good car. I've poured so much money into this thing, and it sucks. There was a time when I first got the car where I was like, I'm going to take so good care of it. And I did. I took so much care into what I did and how often I got the stuff changed and filtered and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, this thing's a piece of shit. God, I remember on one of the hottest summer days, I was working retail. I had been working for like 9 or 10 hours at that point. And I was going home. I go in the parking lot. And guess what happened? The exact same problem that's happening right now. Car lights came on. I turned the ignition and it went. I went, uh-oh. Tried it again. I went, what the? Came to find it was the starter. Sorry to say this, but you've invested in a turd. I didn't invest in shit. This car was given to me, which was very kind. Like, I didn't spend thousands or whatever on this. Like, this was a car that was in the family for a long time. But even they were like, oh, just take good care of it. It'll take good care of you. I took the best care of this thing, and it spat in my eye. I went, what the fuck? And it went, that's what you get, bitch. I said, oh. They were like, just take good care of it. Ungrateful ass car. It's fucked up, man. Yeah, when the gold trim really starts to get on these guys, they look so awesome. I said this last time. I said once the gold trim is on, it just structures everything. It contextualizes everything. It frames the black armor. It looks just great. Drive to a scrapyard, put the fear of God into your car, Ava. I would if it had, like, feelings. It's just a piece of machinery that sucks. But maybe today it'll get fixed. I don't know. But they're gonna... I'm just gonna call them. I'm gonna call AAA, tell them to take it to this garage. And then it should be fine. Alright, but as far as painting goes... Woo! As far as painting goes, I think that's gonna do it for us today. Because I got that car shit to deal with. And also sponsorship things. And also checking in on an editor. And yada yada yada. You get the idea. You know the vibe. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we're going with Tomodachi tonight. I don't know if I can handle Nikki. No offense to Nikki, but I feel like today is really gonna drain me. And I think having a game where I can just sit back and laugh at me saying ridiculous stuff is gonna be good for me. Cars can sense apathy and they know when you can't afford things. Yep. That's damn true. Progress track. And you can't do that with Nikki. No, Nikki requires my attention. We'll have to do more touch-ups on this fellow than I initially thought because there's just more going on with him. This fella is not done, but as you can see, put the white next to him. Put the white. God, it always focuses on the worst fucking thing. God, why do you suck? Why does the camera suck? It's fine. But yeah, we're getting there. What color is the Mohawk gonna be? Mohawk's already colored. It's silver. Oh boy. Okay. Thanks for coming by, everybody. This was a bit of a shorter one, which is fine. Well, it's actually almost 3 hours, so whatever. It's fine. Yo, tune in tonight for some Tomodachi Life. Fun things are happening on the island. Carrie has sent me something very important. Fuck. Oh my god. Nikki, ain't no time to zone out. We're reforging God. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. I pay attention when Nikki's on. I can't just be like, ha ha ha, funny me said that they want to have sex. This is funny because that's not the thing that a me would ever say normally. Hey, do you care about Don at all? Yeah. Carrie and I have watched season 1. And we started season 2. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna go shower and then get this junk figured out. And then, I don't know. We'll see where the day takes us. I have... John, if you're here, there's an email chain that's on the Numbskulls account. I'll forward it to you. Actually, you have the login info. You're fine. You can fucking find it. It's interesting. It's good. I think we should get back to them. I did get back to them once, but we should get back to them again. Okay. All right. Wake up. Okay. See you around, everybody. See you tonight for some Tomodachi Life. Yeah. See you around, y'all.